can you remind me if you'll be so kind? Staring out into space, asking God to hear my case, trying to think of all things past. How long will my memory last? With Purple Angel, Purple Angel, Purple Angel, you're next to me.
Well, hi, everyone, and welcome to Alzheimer's Speaks Radio. I'm your host and founder of Alzheimer's Speaks, Lori LeBay. I apologize for getting started late today, but we got a blizzard thing going on here in Minnesota, and it took us all a little longer just even to get into the studio. And then we had some technical difficulties getting our friends from the UK online here. So when bad weather hits, goofy things happen. So we're all safe and squared at the moment. Before I introduce our guest today, though, I just want to let people know who are new to Alzheimer's Speaks Radio exactly who we are. And basically, Alzheimer's Speaks is an advocacy-based company providing multiple platforms to shift our dementia care culture from crisis to comfort around the world. And we believe that by joining forces and sharing knowledge and just having these everyday conversations about life with dementia, that we're going to be able to remove the stigmas attached to memory loss and help those living with the disease continue to live purpose-filled lives. And we know that together we're making a difference in terms of removing the stigmas and the myths and the isolation that so many people are feeling around the world. At our core, we know collaboration is the only way we're going to win this battle. And I have to thank all of our listeners for your generosity, just taking those few seconds to share Alzheimer's Speaks Radio and our other platforms like Dementia Chats and our blog and our resource directory and YouTube channel. You have made us the #1 influencer online regarding Alzheimer's, according to ShareCare and Dr. Oz. And believe me, that would not have happened on our own. So I just thank you, while you're listening, if you can go ahead and push this out to your friends. If you've got a Twitter tribe, or maybe you've got a LinkedIn group or a Google circle or your Facebook friends. So many people are dealing with this disease, and yet we know them, but we don't even know that they're dealing with it. We need this information out there so that when people are ready to talk about it, the resources are there to support them. Today, we are going to be talking about the Purple Angel Project, and we've got Jane Moore with us, who is the co-founder of the Purple Angel, along with Wayne Mesker, who's the founder of Rock Against Dementia. We initially had Norrms McNamara scheduled to be on the show with us too, but due to hospitalization, Norrms just is not up to that. So we'll be getting an update from Jane regarding how Norrms is doing. But before I do formal introductions here, I want to give a shout out to a couple other shows here on Alive and Social. First one is Apples to Apples, which is with Drew and Scott Applebaum, father and son team that talks and banters quite a bit about sports. A lot of fun to listen to. They're on Mondays at 2:30. And then I also want to give a shout out to Mortgages and BS with Tom Smith and BT. Their program goes live Thursdays at 4. And they talk about mortgages and home ownership and a spattering of kind of entertainment news as well with that. Who else do I want to give a shout out to? My good friends at the Alzheimer's Research and Prevention Foundation. They just do some wonderful work. Our friends over at the Lewy Body Dementia Association, and also the Association for Frontal Temporal Degeneration. And then, of course, the great team at Alzheimer's Disease International, which is all the Alzheimer's associations around the world. So many people don't know that there's specific associations for the various types of dementia that are with us. So first I want to welcome Jane Moore with us with the Purple Angel Project all the way from the UK. How are you doing today, Jane?
I'm fine. Nice to talk to you, Laurie, at last.
Yeah. I didn't know if we were ever going to connect, so Jane was so nice to end up calling into the station here. And Wayne, Where are you located? You're in the States here. Are you in Ohio? Is that correct?
Yes, I'm in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay, so are you getting bombed by the snow too right now, or are you?
No, actually, we've had blessedly a pretty mild winter so far.
Yeah, we have too, but I think this one's going to hit us pretty good here. So, but we are due. Before we get started, Jane, I just want to ask you because I know our listeners are all, have been praying for Norms with his hospitalization, and I know he's out right now. Can you give people a little update on how he's doing?
Yeah, he's out of hospital, back at home under the watchful eye of Elaine, his wife and Angel, and he is getting better, but it's a hard slog for him. It took him quite a bit to get through this. It's a nasty bug. We've had it here as well, and it knocks you for six.
Not fun.
But I think he's just resting, so he'll be fine.
Well, that's good to hear. We're so glad that he came out of the hospital. I saw an article he wrote about his experience, which was really interesting, and I'm sure we'll hear more about that as he improves too, in terms of how he was treated and what he saw. And I know he, when he ended up being admitted and seeing the Purple Angels, just kind of melted his heart in terms of the difference there. So that must have been a pretty cool feeling for him. To be able to see that impact. Yeah,
we're in trouble all over Britain, actually, with the hospital, but I can't praise the nurses and doctors enough. It's, even here in Cornwall, we're on red alert here, and we have no beds. It's ridiculous.
Wow, that is spooky. That is really spooky, that there's such a shortage. Well, Jane, I want to start in terms of talking with you about how did the Purple Angel campaign start? Because I'm sure we've got some new listeners that might not be familiar with this great symbol that is really here to help people raise awareness for all dementias.
Okay, well, I suppose the real beginning of everything was when Norms established the Torbay Dementia Action Alliance early in 2012. He formed a steering group, and his plan was to raise awareness around Torbay, his town, because he visited a shop, and the shopkeeper was quite rude to him when he said he needed a moment to sort his change out because he had dementia, and the shopkeeper laughed in his face. And that's where it all started from, really. And then it progressed to November the 16th in 2013, when Ostrich Care put on a show for us at Paynton and invited ambassadors all over the world. The first 50 ambassadors were inaugurated down there. And it's just spread from there. Purple Angel, I suppose the emblem started when, for me it started, because I went onto Facebook. I look after my mother, who's now 95 and towards end stage. And I was feeling very lonely and depressed and got onto Facebook and tried to find some friends, and I found Norm McNamara. And he was asking for somebody to draw him a logo that he could present to his local shops. And I drew the angel because the angel is Norm's wife, Elaine. He's always referred to her as his angel. And I just did a doodle, and that was it. That's what really set the whole thing going, Purple Angel.
Yeah. Now, how many countries is the Purple Angel in? And I know that a lot of times, when you've got a grassroots movement like this, you don't really know for sure, but, you try.
It is very difficult to ascertain. Most of the countries, the bigger countries around the world, and of course with Alzheimer's Disease International going public with Rock Against Dementia for us, which is Wayne's baby, thank you, Wayne, it's spreading even further. So, there's no way we really can keep track of it.
Mm-hmm. I know last
I
had heard there were like 17 countries, and that was quite a while ago. And I keep seeing more and more countries, coming on, through notices and stuff. But it's hard to track. I know even for me being kind of the U.S. launch pad, for it here, people go, well, do you know of anybody here? And I'm like, we don't always know where everybody is because it is really...
Well, that's the secret of it, because people are doing their own thing, and that is Purple Angel. Purple Angel isn't Norm McNamara, it's not me. It's all these wonderful angels out there, all raising dementia awareness in their own ways, some wonderful things throughout the world. And I'm very honoured because I get to hear all their individual stories when they join. And I'm really humbled by their courage and dedication to raising awareness. It's amazing. Just free use.
Yeah, it is. And people are shocked that it's free, that there isn't a cost.
There's not much free in this world.
No, there's not. And I just think it's such a beautiful story of sharing and relevance, and, that the angel is really about all forms of dementia, not just one type, in trying to get, funding and research shared for all types of dementia, because so many people are struggling in so many different fashions, with
That's right.
that.
It worries me a lot that the rarer causes of dementia are not being investigated enough, because they just aren't. It's because they're rare. Mm-hmm. By way of that, there's not enough funding going towards the rarer causes.
Yeah. So what are the hopes that you and Norms have for the future of this wonderful logo and movement?
Well, it's really that it'll just carry on. It's self-perpetuating, really. Let's see. I did ask Norm exactly that question just to get his reply on it, and his words are: the PA campaign is now a living, breathing entity which now has a life of itself. All we do now is oversee this and watch proudly as it grows, and others around the world can also do it.
Mm-hmm. And now with this symbol, people can utilize it to raise awareness. They can't just sell T-shirts and keep the money, and things like that, but they could sell T-shirts if the money goes back into dementia awareness campaigns, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Yep. And so I had somebody today ask me, well, if we're going to be doing some training, and, they are a big movement themselves, and they're like, we really want to align with the Purple Angel. And they said, but if we sell our training programs, can we still have the Purple Angel on that? And I said, well, it's still marketing, and that, that would be a little bit different than going back directly into something. And I said, I'm going to have to ask on that one and kind of see, because you'd hate to not have it on there, because it, they're trying to pull and raise awareness in, and people aren't really going to be buying the training program for the Purple Angel, itself. But I said, I'm going to have to ask on that one and see, because that's a different response or different request than I've had from anybody else on that one. And I won't put you on the spot to answer that one unless you feel comfortable.
Well, we have had cases of this before, where people who are training have asked if they can incorporate our materials. The answer is they can incorporate the materials, but they mustn't charge for it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So they can charge for their own work, but they have to make absolutely certain to tell people that the Purple Angel, anything from Purple Angel, for example, our care guide,
mm-hmm.
is absolutely free to use and free to download, and does not form part of their paid training materials.
And this one wouldn't be looking at using any of those materials. They're just looking at adding the symbol to their materials. So it would be it wouldn't be like they're trying to monetize what the Purple Angel materials themselves are. You know what I mean?
Well, they can add the logo to their websites and things as being part of the Purple Angel supporters in raising awareness.
Mm-hmm.
They could do that. That's fine.
Okay. So you're thinking that it probably shouldn't be on a brochure of theirs then, or in their packet, to be able to push people towards it?
I think the best way to do it is we support the Purple Angel, and then they can use the logo.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, we'll talk a little bit more on that, and I might have them talk with you directly, because they're just kind of in the beginning stages of things with that too. But there's just so many ways. I mean, I use it all the time in my signature, and
I just want to say another thing, that the problem with raising awareness, not problem really, but if you're raising awareness around businesses and they're displaying a logo in their shop window, then by doing that alone, they're encouraging people to use their business. It's good business practice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a sideline of raising awareness, which is good for people with dementia and their carers to see that logo in the window, but it's also good for a shopkeeper.
Yep.
I myself have not used a hairdresser in a town because they haven't got the logo. I've used the one with the logo in the window, and this will happen.
Mm-hmm.
And in all ways of raising awareness, whatever you're doing, it will reflect upon people that they are trying to help and support. So it will bounce back on their profits, if you like. It's not what we set out to do, but it's just something that happens along the line.
Yeah, it really is more of a soft sell type piece, but it is so important to those that are living and breathing and dealing with this disease to know that people get it, and that they understand and things. Very, very important stuff, and it's so much fun to see all the creative things that are happening from, the Purple Cities Alliance to the Purple Cities initiatives and things that are just kind of popping up all over the place, where people are doing kind of their own educational programs, but they're coming together, utilizing the Purple Angel and getting their people to get on board in terms of spreading awareness and utilizing the symbol and things. It's pretty exciting stuff to see that.
It is. It's
see that energy.
absolutely incredible, and it's not just it's small efforts and it's large efforts. Even if somebody can only do something small, it's all building up to a huge picture. I was in my local shop the other day with my mother, and my mum's very fond of chocolate, so am I, but usually when I put her to the chocolate stand, she will be there forever choosing bars of chocolate, and it cost me a fortune. And I figured I could leave her there for one moment while I just went to the back of the shop to pick up a tin of hairspray. It didn't work. My mother panicked. Where's Jane? Where's Jane? And immediately the shop staff were right beside her, comforting her and saying, Jane's just up there. Don't worry. That's all I could ask for. When I go shopping with my mum, that is just so precious to know that I'm not alone. Somebody's looking after me as well. It's a great feeling.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And it's just, it isn't anything that has to take a lot of time or cost a lot of money to do. It's just,
That's right.
It's just really, so basic in terms of true need and what makes somebody feel comfortable. That's pretty cool story there. I'm going to throw this over to Wayne, and Wayne,
I have a note from Norman here before you go off.
Oh, okay, sure.
He says he's saying regarding using the logo on any training materials or booklets. It's absolutely fine and okay to use our logo.
Okay, wonderful.
Right.
That's great. I will pass that on, because this is a really highly reputable company that I've dealt with, and they really they want to spread the word more on all of your efforts and get more people involved, yet still do more training of their own. With that. So,
well, that's from the top man, the boss. He says it's absolutely fine and okay to use our logo on any training materials or booklets that the company want.
Okay, the big kahuna has spoke. Thanks, Norms. We love you. That's wonderful.
I bet he's laughing.
Well, we're going to get him back on this show yet one of these days. We've had such conflict with technology, Norms and I. I don't know if it's just our level of passion that we just whack out the wiring systems or what, but it's kind of hilarious how difficult it is sometimes for he and I to be able to communicate when both of us talk to people all over the world all the time and don't have any issues. So, yeah, pretty funny stuff. Well, let's talk to Wayne a little bit. Wayne, how did you get involved with dementia?
Okay, well, I have been in the entertainment business basically since end of 2008. And back in 2014, the Cleveland International Film Festival, which is a huge thing here in Cleveland, screened a documentary called Alive Inside. It was directed by Michael Rosato Bennett. And I had read some information about the movie and saw that it involved the use of music to help restore memory to people with Alzheimer's and dementia. So I wanted to see the film and see what they were doing. And I was blessed to be able to see the screening of the film back in March of 2014. And it was just an amazing film, very eye-opening, very inspiring. And before the end of the credits finished rolling, I knew what my plan was. Like I said, being involved in the entertainment business, I decided that what I could do to help would be to reach out to my contacts and start creating a network of people who might be interested in helping them spread the message and the mission of Alive Inside, which at that time was basically to put iPods and headphones uploaded with personal soundtracks in the hands of people with Alzheimer's and dementia in care facilities across the United States. So that's kind of how I got started.
Okay. And then can you explain kind of what Rock Against Dementia is?
Rock Against Dementia basically began as an idea to set up a series of concerts to raise awareness and raise funds and possibly get some iPods donated and so they could move the mission forward. I went to Nashville back in July of 2014, started reaching out to manufacturers at the NAMM convention, musical instrument manufacturers and companies that were involved in music education and publishing and the various artists that were involved, and it just kind of snowballed from there. Back in 2015, we put together our first Rock Against Dementia event here in Cleveland, and there were some events put together over in the UK, and it just kind of snowballed.
Wow. And now, Jane, I know that you've got a few things going on over in the UK. Can you speak to those, or would you rather have Wayne?
Well, I think there's just things going on all around the UK, and again, it's hard to keep track of where and what. I know there's several big events going on, but I don't know much about the smaller events at all.
Okay. Wayne, what, in terms of knowledge base of what's going on, again, it's kind of this grassroots thing that kind of takes on a life of itself, but can you speak to what you know that's going on?
I know that Norm and Jane are doing an event over there in the UK, and there are several other events being planned by people in the UK. Mark Wortman, who is the director of Alzheimer's International, sent out a letter to all the countries under their wing, and apparently they've received responses from some of those countries that are interested in putting together their own events, from my understanding. And I'm trying to put together another event here in Cleveland. We originally had planned on doing something in Nashville, but that kind of fell through for this year. But we're looking forward to using all the traction we get from the events that we're doing this year to make it even bigger and more global in 2017.
Cool.
As you understand, things like this take time and finances and putting together all the right people, and that takes time to put together.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at one of the notices from Mark Wortman that's saying, please welcome Turkey, Greece, and the Netherlands, who are now joining us in so many other countries across the world on making World Rocks Against Dementia Day possible.
I understand there's actually going to be an event in China and Beijing as well at the care facility there.
Oh, very cool.
That was actually being built by a company based in Seattle. So it's kind of exciting.
Well, so many people have talked about this for so long, but it is just a battle to get up and running. Now, Rock Against Dementia is going to be on March 19th this year, and anybody is able to participate in this, is my understanding. And
Yes.
and it's just about utilizing music to raise awareness and get some donations to help fund, more education and awareness for the disease and research or whatever they want to use that's applied to dementia. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Well, great. Anything you want to add about the World Rock Against Dementia, Jane?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really... I'm reluctant to name places and names because there's so many going on and I'm going to miss people.
Mm-hmm.
But I can tell you there's something going on in Wales, quite big. There's London, Manchester, Kent, Scotland, Ireland. That's the UK. And, of course, there's Norm's very large event, which he's putting on in Torbay at the Riviera Centre. And we're hoping that Martina from Germany will be with us for that day. And perhaps also AJ from Alzheimer's Nepal.
Oh, cool.
Is hoping to come over. So I'm not sure how many ambassadors will be at that one, but I rather hope there'll be a few because I'd like to meet some.
Well, that would be very fun.
I know that there's Kathy Broggie, who is one of the Purple Angel ambassadors here in the United States, actually is in Knoxville, Tennessee, and they're planning an event down there. And I just got contacted through the Alive Inside website from a lady in Crawley in the UK that is interested in doing some screenings of the film, and she wanted to do one in March, so I sent her an email suggesting that she do it on March 19th to coordinate with our Rock Against Dementia project as well. So
wonderful. And if your group can't make it this year, this is going to be an annual thing.
Yes, it is.
So jump on the bandwagon, get your budgets in position and your people, and partake in it. This is again another cool thing because it's about coming together as a whole. The world coming together as a whole to make a difference.
There are also some people who are organising a different date because they can't actually do it on the 19th of March.
Okay.
For example, here in Cornwall, we've got St. Tyrrann's Day during that week, so we can't hold different events. It's all about St. Tyrrann's, which is the patron saint of Cornwall. I can't override St. Tyrran, but they will be held on different days, so a day either side or another week later, that kind of thing. And that's fine. It doesn't have to be on the exact day if you can't do that.
Sure. Well, that makes a lot of sense. Now, Wayne, you're also doing a lot of work with the Alive Inside program. Can you tell people a little bit more about that? Some may not be familiar with the film as a whole, so if you want to kind of sum it up in a nutshell for them, that would be great.
Okay, well, Alive Inside, the documentary is actually available. You can purchase it on Amazon. It's available streaming on Netflix and other streaming platforms. If you want to get a chance to see it, we suggest you do that. But basically what happened with Alive Inside originally was based on the work of a gentleman by the name of Dan Cohen, who has an organization called Music and Memory. Mm-hmm. And their mission was his idea. He came up with the idea that iPods loaded with familiar music and headphones might help people with Alzheimer's and dementia patients in some way. Mm-hmm. So that was what the film was basically about. And their mission to begin with, as I said, was to get headphones and iPods and personal playlists in the hands of people in care facilities across the United States, approximately 5 million people. As a result of making the film, our director and our executive director, Michael Bennett, realized that there was a much bigger picture involved, that there was a societal disconnect between the generations that we needed to heal, that the perceptions of aging needed to be changed, that to overuse and abuse of antipsychotic medication given to patients for behavioral control needed to be addressed. And those are kind of all the things that the Alive Inside Foundation has allowed in addressing and taking care of. We've created an educational program called Adopt an Elder, Build a Bridge that we rolled out in 17 cities across the United States this year, and our plan is to have that all across the country by next year. We have created an app called the Memory Detective that's going to be available in a couple of months to help put these playlists together. We are connecting young people from middle schools and high schools and church groups and civic organizations with care facilities and training them to understand what it's like to be a person with Alzheimer's or dementia and create some kind of empathetic connection. And then we're putting them in these facilities and having them work with elders on a one-to-one basis and create that connection. And another thing that we're going to have ready in a couple of months is we've created what they call a mind reader cap. It's an EEG reading cap that you can place on the head of an elder that's listening to music and track their reaction to the music. So we're hoping to have that rolling within a couple of months and just keep building and building on all the things that we're trying to do.
Well, very cool. And I would love to have you guys on just to talk about Alive Inside and get the director on. And we've tried that, and I know between our two schedules we haven't been able to make it work. But maybe if you want to mention that again, that we'd love to have you guys on. So that we can help you, raise awareness and roll out all these new things that you're bringing to the table. That would be wonderful.
Actually, late in March, I don't know all the details yet, but we're beginning a 30-city tour of Alive Inside with the foundation, and we're going to be premiering sections of Alive Inside too. I don't know all the details about that film either, but I'm looking forward to seeing it. So.
Oh, wonderful. Well, that's very, very exciting. Jane, anything that you wanted to add at all?
Yeah, I'm sorry if I've missed anybody because I know there's quite a lot of events taking place, but it's hard to bring them all up together, and I really don't want to mention one and not others. I think you're wonderful, Wayne, and the start of Rock Against Dementia was amazing, and what it's doing is just incredible. I can't thank you enough.
Well, I can't thank you for taking the ball and running with it.
No, that's Norm's, that is, down to Norm. He's put in a huge effort over in Torbay, and it's a bit more difficult where I am. I'm in a little rural community here, and it's quite difficult to get sponsors and to get people to come in. So I'm joining Norman on that day. I'll be over Torbay on the 19th of March. I'm really looking forward to it.
Wonderful. Well, you guys keep up the good work. Now, to get a hold of Norms and Jane, you can go to the Purple Angel global.com. Excuse me, that's www.purpleangel-global.com. If you're here in the U.S., you can just go to alzheimersspeaks.com and then go to the initiatives and projects page, and there's a page for the Purple Angel there because we use different symbols that are trademarked different for different countries. So please feel free to reach out to us, and it'll guide you how to get that information. And Wayne, what's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
They can just go directly, if they want to learn about what we're doing, just go directly to www.aliveinside.org, and that's our website. My bio's on there. They can, I think you have my contact information. They can send me an email at wm@aliveinside.org if they so desire.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both for taking time and being patient with us, given our snowstorm here in getting started late, and for Jane for calling in, and again, just being really flexible. What you're doing is important, and so I'm so glad that we were still able to connect today. So again, thank you so much. For listeners, if you haven't listened to our last show, we talked with the director and the actors from the short film called Remember When, which is a film on dementia exposing a really difficult topic about emotions and what happens to a relationship when the disease hits and as it progresses, and some of the struggles that a care partner has. Next week, we will be doing a replay because I'm going to be out in Seattle. I'm very excited to be there. We're going to be doing a tour and showing the film His Neighbor Phil from Tuesday the 9th through Thursday the 11th. I'll be out there actively showing that film and doing talkbacks with an audience. They're doing a lot on raising awareness with dementia, so that's kind of cool. Our last Dementia Chats was on the 26th, and we discussed how to improve dementia care, and we really ended up focusing on how to fund families, and came up with some kind of brainstorming sessions and how to best help families deal and cope with this. Our next Dementia Chats will be February 23rd because the 9th is canceled due to my travel schedule. And let's see, what else do I want to tell you? Oh, on the blog, there's some great articles. One is on the dementia-friendly vision. It's actually 51 pages that you can download for the state and national implementation. It was written by Michael Ellenbogen, and it's got some really good insights on it. There's also another article by Michael called The Injustice of Alzheimer's Disease. And then a wonderful article by Carol Larkin that talks about what are some of the deficits of executive functioning in Alzheimer's disease, because everybody kind of thinks it's just about memory, but it's so much more than that. Until next time, be safe, and if you're in Minnesota, be safe and warm, and we'll all talk to you soon.
It's time to rethink, renew, and reimagine retirement. Hey everybody, Jared Sebesta here, host of Retire Repurposed. Now this podcast is about the non-financial parts of retirement, which many times can be even more challenging than the financial. We believe retirement is not the end, rather the beginning of what could be the most impactful, purposeful, and fulfilling season of a person's life. So don't retire, become repurposed. To listen now, search Retire Repurposed on your favorite podcast platform, Senior Resource, or Life Audio.